Hello, my name is Charla Ali, and I am working on the week 3 assignment, and I've chosen mental health as the topic. Mental health refers to the psychological and emotional well-being of someone. A mentally healthy person is one that is properly adjusted to his or her social life and career choices. Some of the characteristics of a mentally healthy person is the zest for life that they exhibit, and mandatory happiness is for sure. The World Health Organization has a standard definition for what mental health incorporates and all the various types of mental illnesses. There are many types of mental illnesses and many people are affected. In one report, it identified almost 50% of the population suffers from some form of a mental health issue. There are many reasons why people suffer from mental problems. Sometimes these mental issues can be passed on through genetics or even by the environment that they grew up in. They can also be brought on by a traumatic experience, mental or physical abuse, or in some cases, people are just born that way. In this journey, things beyond our control happen, and how we cope with them is how we will be reflected upon how we can adjust to the situation. Everyone has a reaction to life and its woes. Some of our various forms of disorders are anxiety, depression, mood disorders, and personality disorders. The history of mental health research is considered a new in comparison to the research of general health professionals. Mental illness wasn't always taken as seriously as it is now. Today, there are trained professionals in mental health, medications, and treatment facilities. These are only a few of the available resources offered today to provide people with a mental illness a much better quality way of life. During my research of the history of mental health, I read about a former mental health patient by the name of Clifford Beers. Mr. Beers, along with William James, a philosopher, and Adolph Meyer, a psychiatrist, created Mental Health America, or MHA, in 1909. The fact that a person who suffers from mental illness had such a key role in creating such a useful program is extraordinary. I'm sure that the fact that Mr. Beers suffered from mental illness gave the group great insight on the sickness and helped them better understand its severity and need for resources. This program is dedicated to helping Americans with a mental health issue in order to get help needed for a better quality of life. In addition, the MHA promotes positive attitudes toward the subject of mental health and educates people so that they have a better understanding of it. MHA also works on prevention methods to avoid mental issues. In the 1930s, the MHA organized the first International Congress on Mental Hygiene. This is the area of psychiatry that deals with preventing, maintaining, and restoring mental health measures. This was huge back in the 1930s because during that time, mental illness really wasn't taken seriously or even recognized as an actual medical problem. In the 1960s, MHA got the Community Mental Health Centers Act authorized. This program provided construction grants for community and mental health centers. Also, around 1966, MHA successfully advocated that Medicare include benefits for mental health, another great accomplishment that made it possible for people with low income to receive mental health. A few years later, in 1971, the MHA produced and distributed a film called Only Human. This film was the first of its kind to be aired on national TV. It gave the public better understanding of mental illness and promoted tolerance and acceptance for those suffering with this. In 1981, the MHA helped to form a research project first focusing on raising funds for studies on schizophrenia and depression. The foundation is still strong today and making breakthroughs with each case that they perform. More recently, due to MHA's advocacy, a landmark Supreme Court ruling declared the death penalty for juvenile offenders unconstitutional. This took 73 individuals off death row. There are just a few of the many strides the mental health Americans have made in the matter of this mental illness in America. It is a serious issue that affects millions of Americans. Without treatment, counseling, or medication, one's quality of life can really be unfortunate. This case study, fundraisers, law passed, and the general positive attitude of tolerance and acceptance that the MHA promotes over is a true blessing. Thank you for your time. I hope that you learned a little bit more about the history of mental illness.